Presence. Today I'm talking to my good friend Rachel Pulliam. She has a channel where she talks about dark shadows, strange paradise, and she recreates old-time radio dramas, as well as doing some dark shadows related radio dramas, as well as doing some dark shadows related audio dramas. Come on, let's head on down to the back room at the Blue Whale. There we go. All right. So I'm so happy to have you on. I've been wanting to have you on uh, really since I started tossing around this idea of this kind of dark shadows podcast. Because all my friends, you all know I've been talking about it for years. Like, well, if I had a podcast, and so now I do.
Yay!
I don't know how long it'll last, but it may be just through the summer. It may just be until the LA event. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But thank you for sending me the audio excerpt of the Dark Shadows episode. And I'll start off with that. So you did a video which talks about both Strange Paradise and Dark Shadows. And this episode, I believe, was episode number 4, and it was about the gold diggers. So you talk about Suki Forbes and Dark Shadows, and create one of those episodes. Tell me about that.
Oh gosh. Well, I have to say, Jane Draper, who is, Suki Forbes, I really liked her. She was only in, 3 or 4 episodes of the 1795 storyline, and I really wish that she had been in it longer because she was just phenomenal. I mean, so I just loved her character, and I thought, hey, while I'm talking about the Strange Paradise character, hold on, her name will come back to me.
Was Amy or
no,
name?
this is really bad. I should know this. All the people in my Strange Paradise fan group are just like throwing things at me right now. Yeah, hold on. It'll come back to me. Anyway, I got Andrea Richardson to play, okay, this is gonna bug me. That's what the internet's for, right? Hold on. I will find it. But yeah, so I wanted to find an actress to play the part of Suki, and I found this great actress, Elaine Mathers, I believe, is who I cast. And I also cast Colin Reboy as Nathan, and then yourself as
Yeah, I played Millicent Collins.
Millicent, right. You played Millicent, and then my bestie, Scarlett Reboy, Colin's mom, played Countess Natalie Dupre, and then I got Ed, my buddy Ed, to play, I think he played the bartender, and also Joshua Collins. And of course, last but not least, our mutual friend Bobby Lugosi
Bobby played Barnabas.
as Barnabas.
And that was his first time doing something like that, audio. Because he and I had kind of tried some things with videos and things like that, but this was really his first time doing something that was like just audio. And he really enjoyed it. He loved the table read that we did as well. We did a table read of a different episode,
Yeah.
and that was a lot of fun too. We both really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was I really need to get back into doing that again. But
Yeah, we love to do more audio episodes. We were talking about it the other day, and he's like, "Oh, remember when we did that with Rachel?" And I was like,
yeah.
"Yeah, we
I
need."
I seem to remember I know I recorded something for Bobby's podcast where he wants to do an
So,
excerpt from Night of Dark Shadows, right?
right. So what we were going to do is we were going to do some videos for Night of Dark Shadows, which he still hasn't, I guess, gotten to yet. He hasn't even done any. So he bought this costume for Quentin, and he hasn't done a single Quentin video. So don't worry, it's not just you. He
Okay.
hasn't done any of that those videos that we had planned to do yet. But we had planned to do a Night of Dark Shadows, and you played Carlotta Drake for us.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yeah.
was a big take on Carlotta Drake because it was not like Grayson Hall. It wasn't a Grayson Hall. Um, and, then I'm blanking on the word. You weren't mimicking. You
I
weren't.
wasn't mimicking Grayson Hall. I was trying to do my own take on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just had your own Carlotta Drake, and in a way it was I think a bit more like what's her name, Judith Anderson's Mrs. Danvers
Oh, okay. Yeah.
had that kind of feel to it, which was very similar, to the that Carlotta Drake's supposed to be that kind of character,
Yeah.
but it wasn't mimicking Grayson Hall in any way, and it was kind of its own thing, still very gothic. And so I'm hoping we can do that soon. I don't know when we'll get
Yeah.
to it. I recorded all of my dialogue as Tracy,
Mm-hmm.
the Kate Jackson character. So I did all of that, and he was going to play Quentin. And I have no idea. We've recorded so many things. We've like hours of things. I mean, I recorded some stuff as Naomi Collins that we haven't done anything with, a bunch of
Oh,
75 stuff. I actually we recorded a 1795 scene where I play, I think, three different characters because
wow.
I was Victoria Winters. I played Countess Natalie Dupre, and I played it may have been Naomi. I don't know, but it was like three different characters, or Abigail. Maybe it was Abigail. I don't know, but it was like three or four different characters, and so I kind of did them all. And again, I didn't imitate Grace and
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah.
because nobody can really imitate Grace. I mean, there are some fabulous, interpretations and impersonators, and I mean, just
I
amazing.
can't.
I can't do that.
I can't think of his name. There
you
was a long time ago on YouTube. There was a guy that would do his. I'm sorry, what?
You may be thinking of Daryl Schaefer, who does a phenomenal Julia. He does Barnes. He does everybody. And
That must be who. Yeah, yeah. He did a parody. I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but it was really funny. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
another one who I think does a wonderful Grayson's Julia is the fabulous Richard Halpern. You know,
I think
and
I've heard of him.
and
Yeah,
he does another one that's just I mean, perfect. But it's like, again, I know I can't do that. I can't even try. So what I attempted to do when we did that 1795 scene, which is as yet unreleased, what I did with it is I went more the 1991 series,
yeah. Oh yeah, Barbara
and
Steele.
I was doing Barbara Steele with the French accent, which I don't speak French, and it was probably a horrible French accent. But I attempted it because I thought, well, at least I can try to attempt this a lot
Yeah.
easier than I can Grayson Hall. So that's what I did with that, and I think I may have sent you some of those to kind of
I think so. It's been a while since I've looked at it.
but I think I sent you some, like, what do you think? Is this okay? Because it's just like I've
Yeah.
never done anything like that before. But when Bobby and I record, I mean, we just have this thing where it's like he just says, "Can you do this?" Yeah, okay, and I like we like to say I'm the Agnes Moorehead to his Orson Welles because he'll come
Mm-hmm.
something, be like, can you do this? Yeah, okay. And I know I played his mother, I played his love interest, I played, like all these things. Because he just goes, can you do this? Yeah, I'll try. And I don't consider myself an actress, but I give it a shot.
And I actually have done a little bit as far as myself is concerned with the voice acting thing.
Mhm.
My buddy Josh Price has his Dark Shadows audio
Mhm.
dramas, and
And
he actually cast me as Angelique,
Mhm.
which I think is, he thought I did a great job. I thought I did okay. I'm pretty I'm pretty humble about that kind of thing. It's just like I was okay.
Mhm.
you know.
Because I think you went about it differently than maybe some other people would. Like when
Yeah.
when when I do Angelique with the videos with Bobby, I'm really doing an impersonation, and I'm trying to be like, like, okay, I'm trying to sound as much like Laura Parker as I can. Whereas you went about it more like Angelique, the woman and the character,
Right.
than the actress who.
Yeah, I can't mimic Laura Parker. I can't.
Mhm.
But, it is what it is. Uh,
But I love your audios, and I'll have a link on here, of course, to your channel, which has gone through several names. I'd like to point out in case anybody gets confused.
yes, yes. It started out as Soul Twin Audio Network, which
Mhm.
I mean, when I'm producing the old time radio theater with
Mhm.
the old timey episodes like Suspense and Escape and whatnot, and I have that over at Moonlight Audio or Jack Ward's Sonic Society
Mhm.
Playhouse. I usually just kind of host it as Soul Twin Audio Network in association with Shadows of the Past Theater, which is what
Mhm.
I'm calling the thing now because I want people to be aware that I'm trying to focus it more on the Dark Shadows and Strange Paradise thing because,
Mhm.
I just don't want it to be too confusing.
Mhm.
I tend to be a little bit hodgepodgey sometimes.
But that's okay, because some of us really like that, where we like to kind of go down these kind of these rabbit holes and be like, oh, okay, I found this channel. Oh, and they have this. Oh, and they have this. I love old time radio. I love old time radio.
Yeah, yeah.
So I love all of that stuff. I love the recreation you did. I think the last one was an episode of Suspense. Was it Waiting that you did?
Yeah, there was waiting. The very last one that I've done, I told Jack that my health permitted, I'm going to try to do the furnished floor. But the previous one that I did was Back for Christmas.
Hmm.
Um, and
Yeah,
that one was pretty creepy. It was the
mhm.
typical the wife is buried in the basement kind of a thing, and what
Mhm.
happens next? Yeah,
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 I
good
love
stuff.
stuff, and I know a lot of Dark Shadows fans really like that kind of stuff too, because they love all things gothic or things that are
Mm-hmm.
kind of spooky or creepy, or or maybe because of their love of Dark Shadows, they've gotten into the audio dramas, which has kind of led them to a lot of the older radio programs and things like that. Joan Bennett did a bunch of radio. She did some episodes of Fence and different things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are finding this kind of that way, by just kind of looking up, Joan Bennett and kind of going that way, and finding, the episodes that way. But I love all that. I'd love to do more of that. I got such a thrill out of playing Millicent. Uh,
Yeah, gosh, I have plans. I have things in the can, as it were, that I just need to sit down and do the post production for a couple of Dark Shadows episodes,
mhm,
and I really need to sit down and write more for Cursed Dwellings, which
mhm,
is my fan fiction audio parallel time esque venture into a kind of a what if the answer to the "Who is Victoria's parents?" question, and it takes place in 1945. And spoiler alert, it's not Liz. Liz is not the mom, just so you know, guys. Because I know that's a favorite fan theory.
Mm-hmm.
It's, in my opinion, it's not canon. All right,
Mm-hmm.
hold on a second. I need a little water.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that would be. So far, I have the first episode produced, and it's on it's on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep trying to figure out what's gonna happen next because I keep changing my mind. It's like I want to like plot out the entire season and then just kind of go from there. I have all these ideas. I just need to like sit down and do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a perfectionist. I just want to get it right. You know how that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I did an ad for you for that first episode when
Mm-hmm.
before the last time you changed the name because it was a Gothic Topic podcast. So
Oh
I had
yeah. I just
you
can't make up my name. It's like, here, you've got an audience building. What name should I stick with? Shadows of the Past Theater or Gothic Topic Podcast?
I
Oh.
the past theater works because that does kind of encompass kind of all. No.
Yeah, not to mention it makes you kind of think of Quentin, Shadows of the Night and
Mm-hmm.
all that.
Yeah. Hmm. Now that would be an interesting idea to kind of do something audio wise for is, Quentin Collins is such a great character,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of really would really lend himself, I think, to some kind of audio adventures because he has that gap, that missing period
Mm-hmm.
between, 1897 and 1969, where you could really kind of go and do anything with him.
Quentin
He
Collins on the Titanic. It's gonna happen.
I mean, there's so many things that you could do with that character because we really don't have any information from the show about
Right.
that time period. So he could have really done anything. And with
Mm-hmm.
with the Big Finish audio dramas, they do kind of touch on that somewhat, and they give him, some adventures kind of during that time period.
I haven't. I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
don't mean to interrupt
yeah.
you. I haven't listened to all of them. I'm trying to think of the name of this one that I really liked. Because
Hmm.
the Big Finish, they're good, but some of them I've enjoyed more than others.
Hmm.
And there was one where they touched on the whole how did he come up with the name Grant Douglas? Now I
Hmm.
don't know if you've heard that one,
I don't
but
think I've because I haven't heard them all either.
it's really good, and I liked what they did with it. I don't want to give it away in case and I haven't heard it in a while, but it was a small cast, and basically I think he causes himself to have the amnesia. I
Hmm.
don't really remember how that goes, but yeah, they touched on the whole where does he come up with Grant Douglas, and
Hmm.
that was extremely entertaining. So yeah, some of them with Quentin and also with Catherine Lee Scott
Hmm.
as Maggie.
Hmm.
I think there's at least one, where they touch on the Maggie and Quentin from Parallel Time and kind of give them their own storyline, presumably after the events of 1970 Parallel Time, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, I need to listen to more of them, but it's like I get confused with the order of what's supposed to go when. So it's like I don't really want to just kind of start listening to a whole bunch of them because what if they're out of order or what
Right.
some or so it's been kind of hard in that regard, but I've heard a few of them that don't seem to really need to be in any particular order,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought those were really good and really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think Dark Shadows itself really lends itself well to that audio medium, you know.
And I heard a rumor, maybe not even a rumor, that Big Finish is no longer making the Dark Shadows anymore, which is really sad because they were going to do this whole storyline about Wyncliffe, and it was going
Mhm.
to have Julie Newmar playing
Ooh.
Dr. Hoffman. And
Oh,
I'm just so sad that they dropped it, you know? It just,
well, maybe
uh,
that you could pick up and run with, you know.
yeah, I mean, well, I'll probably take it and do my own thing, but you know.
Yeah. You know, that's another thing that would be really interesting is kind of like, you know, the different characters that have gone to Wyncliffe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe kind of doing something with that. Like when Maggie went at the end of 1970 and she's being,
Mm-hmm.
you know, off to Wyncliffe. It's like, okay, maybe there's
Didn't
some
Joe Haskell end up there
you
too?
know, yeah. You know, now that would be interesting to have them kind of, you know, meet again.
Mm-hmm.
Wyncliffe, you know,
Yeah,
that would be really interesting because they had been engaged. You know, they were a
yeah.
couple.
I think I want to say Big Finish did have them marry, but it was after the start of the events. So, because I
Mm.
mean, it didn't start with Big Finish. I believe Jameson Selby, David Selby's son, did an audio called
He
Return to
took.
Collinwood.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Um, I have issues with that one. We won't go there. All I'm gonna say is Willie Loomis putting a hot tub in the old house. No.
But it was great to see that one done live in person.
Yeah.
That I got a big kick out of to actually see the actors, you know, recreating these characters, you know, kind of live and in person, and that was a big thrill.
Mm-hmm.
So, what episodes can you think of offhand that you think you could really see in that kind of audio radio play format? Are there any episodes that just jump out to you? Uh,
Oh gosh. Probably when Victoria uh, ends up in 1795. You know, they could do something really trippy with the music where she's like, you know, uh, and I mean that in itself, just the whole ensemble of them playing the present day characters and then the um, characters from that time period. Gosh, so much of that can lend itself to audio. Um, I would love to see an episode. In fact, I'll probably just do it myself with um, Josette on Widow's Hill.
mhm,
Angelique, you know, has led her there, tricked her into thinking, you know, it's Barnabas talking to her, and then she jumps off the cliff. I might
mhm,
end up doing that one.
mhm.
Um, Maybe when the kids first get in touch with Quentin. I
Ooh,
mean, there's. Mm-hmm. I'd have
that
to find some kid actors or some people that can play the
mhm,
kids. I don't know. That's gonna be tricky.
mhm,
But yeah, gosh, there's so many. Heck, even the episode where Barnabas gets released from the coffin.
mhm.
Um, I haven't. I actually, I'm not gonna do that one. I think. No, the first one. Okay. So this series that I'm still figuring out, well, not really figuring out per se, I just need to sit down and mix the episode, but it's
Mhm.
called Revamped Audios, and this is basically where I take episodes of Dark Shadows and turn it into audios, and I actually cast um, Kareem Cronfley as Barnabas, and he's British, so
Ooh.
I have this thing where, you know, I mean, when you see Jonathan Frid, who, as you know, who excellent actor,
Mhm.
Canadian, but he doesn't really do the British accent, and yet he's trying to convince the family that he's from England. I don't know. There's like little plot holes there. So I kind of that's another reason why I wanted to cast a British actor, like Dan Curtis did in 1991 with Ben Cross.
Mhm.
So I've got uh, a British actor playing Barnabas, and I actually lucked out, and I have a friend, voice actress, who uh, she had her little boy. He's playing David, and yeah, I just need to sit down and mix the episode. But it'll be the first episode's going to be when Barnabas arrives at Collinwood, and he gets introduced to Liz and Victoria and David, and that should be a lot of fun. So
I'm excited for that. It's very exciting. Wow. Now, do you have any favorite episodes in general? I mean,
I would have to say that it's funny because Angelique is not my favorite character. I've
mm,
mentioned that to people. Um, but I have to say that the first episode that I was able to see, my introduction to Dark Shadows, was, I want to say, episode 375, something like that. I'm probably off with the numbers, but basically the episode where Josette shows up, you're introduced to Josette in 1795, and
mm,
the very first episode I saw, which was when I was in seventh grade. It was during a snow day, so I'm sitting there flipping through the channels, and I came across the Sci-Fi Channel, which had Dark Shadows on during that time in the early 90s. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, there's this woman, and blonde hair, green dress, clearly a
mhm,
different time period, and she's like going on and on and on about how she's gonna like use this voodoo, this toy soldier to make this guy choke or something. And I'm like, and then it would go back and forth between her talking and I'm like, what am I watching? Why can't I stop? I can't look away. What's gonna happen next? You know. And the funny thing is the Sci-Fi Channel. They would play two episodes at a time, and so when I came across that episode, I think I only watched the last few minutes of the episode before it ended. And then it went on to, I guess, like the next episode. And then I had to go back to school. And then when I was able to watch it again, the episode I saw was Victoria Winters tied to the tree, and Reverend Trask was going on and on about how she was the witch. And I'm thinking, what am I watching? Oh my gosh, I hope she's going to be okay. And then I had to figure out how to work the VCR to tape these episodes, because by the time I got to watch it again, they were back in 1968. I'm like, what happened? What? What? How? What? She's back? What? What?
mhm,
And you didn't have the internet back then, so you
mhm,
couldn't just look up to find out what happened. So, yeah, I would have to say um, probably the 1795 episodes. I didn't get to see the pre-Barnabas episodes until it started to come out on DVD.
mhm,
Um, and then I started to buy each volume, and then eventually I got rid of them in favor of the coffin set.
mhm,
Um, And now, of course, Dark Shadows, you can find it anywhere. It's on Tubi for free, or the Roku channel, or Amazon Prime, all those things.
mhm,
But let's see. I also liked the 1897 storyline with
mhm,
Quentin's origin, but I also, I'm jumping around here, but the introduction of Quentin, because that was basically my also introduction to Henry James' The Turn of the Screw. And I remember, and this was I cannot speak today, coinciding. So it with Dark Shadows, it had to have been in 1995
Mhm.
because there was this late night movie, and again I caught like maybe the last half of it, where I was so pissed because the governess and the little boy at the end, and they were trying to fight the ghost. She was trying to get the boy, tell me his name, tell me his name. Rachel, it's time to go to bed. I didn't get to find out what happened. And then in Dark Shadows, of course, they tweaked it a bit because you can't kill off the children in the soap opera.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah. So then I had to get into going back into that. It's kind of like, what do you call that? Rabbit hole, down the
Mhm.
rabbit hole, or, the it's almost like word association. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, well, this led me into this, led me into this, and oh, look, there's an opera of Turn of the Screw. Seriously, there's an opera of Turn of the
Mhm.
Screw. You gotta listen to it. Anyway, um, so yeah, Turn of the Screw. And I was really into that because it had kids on it. And so at one point I'm sitting there watching, and sadly I'm the only one in my family that likes this show. I'm
Mhm.
sitting there watching it, not even realizing who I'm watching on the screen. My mom comes down the stairs, looks at the TV, and she says, "That's Violet from Willy Wonka." And I'm like, "It's Violet from Willy Wonka!"
Mhm.
you know. Um, so that was really cool. I didn't even know what I was watching. Um, but going back to one of the episodes that going kind of down that rabbit hole. There was an episode I think where Maggie had gone to the old house because I think the ghost of Quentin, somebody led her there.
Mhm.
And then at one point, Barnabas shows up because he needs to try to find her. And she's sitting there dressed in an old fashioned dress, kind of muttering something. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" or something to that
Mhm.
effect. And then she comes out of it, and she said he was calling me another name. And I'm sitting there going, wouldn't it be funny if he was calling her Rachel, the ghost of Quentin? And when it happened, I was, during that, when you finally get to that part, I was like, yes!
Yeah, because she was Rachel Drummond, the governess.
hmm And then I got doubly excited because it basically was following Jane Eyre again.
Mhm.
And I know that Catherine Lee Scott had that role, but I feel like if Alexandra Moltke had stayed, that
Mhm.
may have been her part.
Mhm. I could
It
see
could
that.
have. Yeah, it could have. Yeah. Um, but anyway, wow, I've talked a lot. What about you? What are your? I don't know. I
Well,
don't want you to have to repeat like stuff.
but
Oh,
okay. Now, of all of the governesses, right? So you've got Tori Winters, you've got
mm-hmm.
Maggie Evans, and you've got Rachel Drummond and Daphne Harridge.
Oh,
Who is
right.
your favorite governess on the show?
Honestly, and again, we're gonna really take a mega leap here.
Mhm.
Victoria Winters in 2004 pilot.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Mhm.
I Again, Dark Shadows invoked a different time period because it took place in the 60s. So all the writing was from the 60s, and the women, a lot of them weren't as, you know, strong as they could have been portrayed.
Mhm.
Now, when I say 2004, um, I liked it took me a little bit because she needed some time to grow on me. I liked the interaction between Victoria and David, who, fun fact, voice of Finding Nemo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I liked her no nonsense attitude, and you're not gonna scare me. You know, unlike I mean, Joanna Going as Victoria would be obviously my second favorite in regards to how she was as a governess, because yeah, we'll get to that other part in a second. She David, David could get away with scaring her. He probably could have gotten away with scaring me, in the schoolroom. And she's like, open your desk. And he's like, I don't think you want to see. And I would have been like, yeah, okay, I'm going to move in with Barnabas now. Keep those things away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as the original show, again, I would have to say Victoria, but again, you don't really get to see her teaching that much. And when
Mm-hmm.
she does, it's very um, drill and kill, as we used to. I actually, I have a degree in elementary education, but I just unfortunately didn't really get to do much with it. Um, but yeah, it was just like teaching him facts from the books and so forth. I don't think that, I think she could have done a better job. Um, and as far as Maggie Evans goes, she was a waitress.
Mm-hmm.
Where did she get her degree? I remember this. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was right after Pop. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Pop had passed away. Maggie's father,
Mm-hmm.
Sam Evans. Um, so he dies. Victoria's gone. They need a governess. Dan Curtis is like, oh well, we need somebody to put there. And all the actresses we're trying to get, they're not working out for Victoria. Let's see what we can do. So Liz shows up one night and she offers her the job, Maggie the job as governess on, correct me if I'm wrong, David Likes You. Well, gee, sign me up. Can I have a job too? Yeah, David Likes You.
Well, if you
Which,
think what a terror David was, you know, I mean, I guess it makes sense that it's like, okay, well, at least he likes you. So, if no
yeah,
is gonna come up to the house for this job, I guess it makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, then again, you have to question what were Victoria's qualifications. I mean, she at least they at least kind of explained that she had a teacher background, and then in 1991, obviously the same. The 2004 version was interesting because you almost get the feeling that she was a psychiatrist instead. I mean, she was a tutor, but she also had a, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to rewatch that now, but she had his like psych eval or something,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was really interesting. Um, but yeah, that gives me some ideas about what to do, like with the governess, because it's like, I mean, you, it's it's a soap opera, and it would be probably really really boring if you even had 4 or 5 minutes of you having a character trying to teach a lesson. But I mean, they kind of did that. I mean, at least Daphne was teaching them Latin. She
Hmm.
was. She was teaching him Latin. You know. Let's see. Victoria was teaching David history at one point. Um, well, I don't know. Maybe. Well, it's like, well, Maggie, you graduated from high school. That's good enough. David likes you. Did you know? I can't remember what episode it is, but they do a camera shot of the closet for some reason, and in the closet you can see her waitress uniform hanging up.
Oh wow, I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that picture and send it to you. It's like, she's got it on standby just in case they're like, you know what, it's not working out,
Hmm.
and you're not able to deal with the ghosts as efficiently as Victoria was. Actually, she couldn't deal with it either. So what are you talking about? I don't
Now,
know.
now I know we've talked about this show, in Messenger and everything, on and off for years, and I know that you love the Gothics and the classics, all that, just like I do. And one of the great things with this show, being a soap opera, is they really focus a lot on the relationship, you know, the kind of the couples in the show, and so a lot of times the couples, they put them into these roles that is like, oh, okay, I know who he's supposed to be, and she's supposed to be this kind of character, and whatever. Out of all of the couples and the storylines, who do you think kind of really embodied that source material, that kind of that gothic couple that exactly who they're supposed to be, and they nailed it?
Hmm, that's a good question. I would honestly, and I hate to say this because again, it's not my favorite pairing.
Hmm.
But Barnabas and Angelique, the whole back and forth with the vampire and the witch, and you cursed me, and the whole twisted, um, toxic love situation. I
Hmm.
mean, they did a good job there. Um, uh, and it's interesting because as I can recall, Jonathan Frid, when they were casting for Angelique, I think Frid was like, let's go with her. She's good. I mean, it's and again, I mean, they do have an amount of chemistry. I mean, at least when they're portraying Barnabas and Angelique,
Hmm.
they have a specific chemistry. Even if I don't agree, it still works in regards to the gothic um, the gothic storylines. It works.
Hmm. And which couples do you think just don't work? You don't buy it. You don't like it.
Oh my god. Ah. Um. Oh my gosh. Couples that don't. That's a little harder. Um.
I mean, for me, it's Barnabas and Roxanne.
Yeah, I can see that.
Hmm.
Barnabas and yeah, yeah. I'm not quite sure why,
Hmm.
but um, Barnabas and Roxanne. She's just. I think it's because you don't know anything about her when
Hmm.
she's there, and she's just. It's like, why does he like her?
Hmm. And it's not even that she looks like Josette, because she doesn't. So you
She
don't even
doesn't.
really be like, oh, that's the attraction because she looks like,
Mm-hmm.
but she doesn't. She looks nothing like Josette.
Right. I don't know. Maybe it's because she felt like helpless damsel in distress that he felt like he had to protect. I don't,
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, it would be cheating to say Joshua and Naomi because they're not really supposed to work to begin with. I would say Carolyn with anyone. She had a great guy, Joe Haskell, and Carolyn doesn't like the good guys. She wants the bad boys, even Buzz. Carolyn
Mhm.
and Buzz. That's freaking hilarious. Um, Gosh, trying to think who else.
I,
Who
I
else?
I think out of all Carolyn's boyfriends, I like Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they maybe could have possibly made it work,
Mm,
but then Sabrina came back into the picture, and I think that kind of threw a wrench into those plans. But
yeah.
I think out of all of her boyfriends or love interests, I think Chris is the one I could see maybe working out if they'd worked at it harder.
Yeah, I liked Chris Jennings.
Mhm.
Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, I can think of somebody for Carolyn that she didn't ever associate with or end up with.
Yeah, who's that?
Frank Garner, but of
Oh,
course she would have just tossed him aside because he would have been just boring for her.
yeah. Like
Probably.
I think I have a bit of a kind of a similar thing, with Carolyn. I go for the bad boys too, so I could say that.
Yeah. I guess I like the boring ones, you know? It's like, well, there's not much drama there, but you can go to sleep at night and not have to worry about, anything attacking you. So, um, and I was just thinking, as far as relationships on the show that didn't happen, one of my favorites, and I actually used to write fan fiction about this couple with a
Mhm.
friend of mine. Um, we actually had this whole, gosh, I wish I still had it, but we called it the Worthington Hall saga.
Ooh.
And it was about Rachel Drummond, who I was writing as, of course, and
Hmm.
she was writing as Tim Shaw.
Hmm.
Actually, yeah, she was right. We was an RPG kind of format. So she was writing as Tim Shaw, and Gregory Trask, and probably a couple of other characters. And yeah, it was just really interesting because she and I agreed. It's like we want Rachel and Tim together. We just want them together. It's funny because at one point Charity mentions to Rachel that she could have ended up with Tim if they could have fixed their problems or something. And I'm thinking, well, Tim would have been a better choice than if he had ended up with you.
Hmm. But Tim's
Um,
a really interesting character because his character almost does this kind of 180 thing.
I know, I hate that.
And
It's
that was,
like,
where did that come from? Like, what the
well, I know. It's just like our mutual friend Deborah,
heck? Hmm.
who, she told, hi, Deborah! uh, I'm pretty sure she was like, well, that makes sense because Rachel's death shook him so hard that he went into this, okay, I've got to get some kind of revenge going on here. So when you put it that way, it kind of does make sense, but it's almost like they didn't know what to do with him
Hmm.
after she died. So
Kind of makes you wonder what the heck happened in New York.
I know, right?
Where he found Amanda in New York, or
Yep.
was it in one of those when he
Just
went?
just one more thing I have to write.
Mhm.
I have ideas. Yeah, don't get me started on Jeremy Grimes. And he was only in 4 episodes, and I don't like him at all.
Mm-hmm.
um, oh gosh. I was just thinking earlier today about other characters that um, not just could have ended up with somebody else, but should have ended up with at least somebody. Thinking, poor Liz, she didn't really get many storylines that were decent. I mean, I think it would have been interesting for her to have that storyline of Bill Malloy, and then if Ned Calder had come back,
Mm-hmm.
and
I think they could have done some really
mhm,
exciting with Ned Calder. That.
yeah, could have and I already have an idea of who could have played him.
Ooh.
So, you know how they're always bringing people back as new characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think hopefully I can get this Hugh Hugh bleh, Hugh Franklin, who portrayed originally Richard Garner.
Okay.
I think he could have come back as Ned.
Hmm.
And then, obviously, Frank Sheffield could have come back as Bill Malloy.
Yeah.
Because,
I
uh,
really like Boy. I wish they hadn't killed him off so soon.
I know, because, I
He'll,
mean,
there for the plot and everything, but I just think that there was so much more that they really could have done with Bill Malloy and really kind of fleshed out, and because he felt like one of the most real characters, I thought, in those pre-Barnabas
oh,
episodes.
yeah.
He really felt like this really kind of cool, like three-dimensional, like this guy, like I don't know how to describe it, but I wish they hadn't killed him off so soon.
I know. But, yeah. I understand why they needed to though because the show started out as a I wish I could remember the exact quote from Dan Curtis, but it was something like this, and I'm just paraphrasing here. So many people think of Dark Shadows as a supernatural show, but it's not. It was a gothic romance with supernatural elements.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, like so many people focus on the supernatural characters, but I don't know. I just love the ordinary guys, the ordinary characters like Bill Malloy and, Roger Collins and
Mm-hmm.
it started out with Art Wallace creating the Bible
Mm-hmm.
of
Shadows.
the, shadows on the wall. Yeah. And so many interesting things. Um and I'm sure that you and other fans are aware that Roger Collins was originally written as I want to say he was the original person that was supposed to have killed Bill Malloy, and they were going to kill him off at Widow's Hill. It was going to be this huge thing with Victoria almost dying, but somebody comes in and saves her. I can't recall. I'm gonna have to. I don't have my copy on hand. It's probably still in my garage in a box somewhere. Um, but yeah, it.
I liked
I
Roger Collins as the baddie. I thought
yeah,
he made a
he
great.
was good.
I thought that was great.
That whole dynamic of Burke
Mm-hmm.
Devlin and Roger, and at one point Burke is sitting there in the Collins Port Inn Cafe, and he's sitting there reading The Count of Monte Cristo. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
Captain Obvious, can you be more obvious? Uh, and I wish that they would have done more with that. I wish
Mm-hmm.
they would have concluded it stronger than they did instead of, well, I just needed you to say it and people like you rot wherever they are. I think that's how he ended it. With he just kind of like lets it go and walks away. I'm like, not with a bang, a whimper. Burke, what happened to you?
Well, I think it had something to do with Victoria, is my kind of way of thinking, because he had the feelings for Vicky, and I think maybe that kind of changed his original plans. I mean, at least that's
Mhm.
kind of how I think of it. Why they ended it that way.
That's
Oh,
possible. And thinking of Burke, like, I wish that Mitch Ryan could have stuck around and continued with the character because, they just kind of rushed his ending and it just I understand why they needed to do that, but it just really sucked. And
yeah.
his replacement, I know you've discussed this before.
Mhm.
Anthony George was just not like Burke at all. It's
The
just like
style of actor. I mean, I thought he was great as Jeremiah,
he was fine as Jeremiah. Yeah.
but very hard to see him as Burke, I think.
Hmm.
Now, do you think Burke survived the plane crash?
In my fan fiction, in my head, he does. But actually, oh, and I hate to give this away, but Big Finish actually covered that. It's
Oh,
called, I want to say it's called Black and White and Red or something like that.
I've seen the cover for that, but I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's I have to listen to it again because I can't remember what they did with it, but they had Maggie like talking to him and stuff. So yeah, um,
Interesting. Because I think that that's another kind of thing that, if Dark Shadows had lasted longer, they could have done something with. They could have brought Burke back. Maybe he had amnesia or something, you know.
that's typical for soap opera stuff. But yeah, it would have worked.
But what would have been really cool with the Dark Shadows twist is if he had not only, survived the plane crash and made it out of the jungle, but what if he had been attacked by something in the jungle and is now some sort of supernatural creature?
Hey, why not? It's
That would
Dark
be
Shadows.
cool.
Oh gosh. And total tangents. And I'm sure you've heard this before. When they brought in Kate Jackson, I really wish that they would have made her a permanent Victoria Winters instead of Daphne Harridge. Because I think that she could have done excellent. I mean, I liked her as Daphne, but I'm thinking she could have worked as Victoria, and they could have brought her back and tied up so many things.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, I think maybe they just thought that they were too far away from that at this point,
Mm.
because it wasn't about Vicky anymore. It was about, Barnabas and, all this other stuff. And maybe to the writer's way of thinking, they didn't really have that space for Vicky
Mm.
anymore. Because if you look at her last few months of the show, I mean, you can tell it wasn't really about Vicky, and it was just kind of the same thing over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing with Peter and Jeff drives me crazy because I can't stand either one of them. I am not a Peter Jeff fan. No. And it's like every single episode she's whining about, Peter, oh no, how's the past? Oh, no, 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 no. And it drives me nuts.
Oh,
You-
I know. I know. It's like, in the 1991 version, it's so much better.
yeah.
I mean, Victoria has a brain. She doesn't walk around saying, I don't understand. She also doesn't like come across as just stupid because it's like, she's back in time and, oh, it's Elizabeth. Oh, it's Roger. Oh, I know you and I know you and I know you. And they're just like, we think you're nuts. We think you're crazy. If I would have been her, I would have realized, okay, I'm not in the right time. I better keep my mouth shut and try to blend in as much as possible. Otherwise, they're gonna, think I'm a witch and all that fun, unfun stuff. So, but yeah, I think Victoria and Peter work better
Mhm.
in the revival series. I also have ideas where that shoulda, coulda, woulda
Hmm.
gone. Like, for instance, and I don't care about revealing spoilers because I feel like most people that watch these podcasts, they
Hmm.
should know this stuff already. But if you haven't seen it, go watch it because I'm about to, like, ruin stuff for you. Uh, Joe Haskell in the revival gets killed. That's a big shock right there. But my feeling is that, um, they were supposed to bring back. Or hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, I think that Peter Bradford was going to become the reincarnation of Chris Haskell. I think that Joe, not cousins, because that's just stupid. Um, I think that, Joe had a twin out there named Chris Haskell. He would have been a combo of Chris Jennings and the Peter Bradford reincarnation. And I think that he would have showed up at Colin because he hasn't heard from his brother in a while. Got to find out what happened to him. Meanwhile, Quentin shows up in a different way. Probably not a gramophone, probably some other way. I haven't figured that out yet, but I think that Quentin. No, I know this for sure. Adrian Paul was supposed to play Quentin.
I
Uh,
heard that.
he even said that. What?
Yeah, that I think that would have been awesome.
It would have been amazing. Oh, what we could have had. I'm
I
still mad.
Yeah, I enjoyed his Jeremiah. I love the fact that he made Jeremiah Barnabas's brother and the
That
revival
works so much better.
so much better. I just thought that was perfect.
Hmm.
That worked really, really well, rather than his uncle. I thought his
Which never made sense to me.
yeah, that was
Um, yeah. Uh, you know what else I liked that they did in the 1991 series when they got to the 1790
Mhm.
storyline? I liked that instead of things like frozen in time, because I mean, I understand why they did this. They couldn't just, since it was daytime, they only had so much budget and whatnot. They couldn't go back and forth between
Mhm.
1795 and 1967. But
Mhm.
they were able to do that in 1991 so they could give us, you know, here's what's going on while Victoria is still stuck in 1790. And I
Mhm.
liked that. And I liked the scenes with Ellen Wheeler as Phyllis Wick, you
Mhm.
know, facing off with Sheriff Patterson.
Mhm.
It's so funny. I mean, they did so much with it.
Mhm.
And the casting, I don't have a problem with most of the casting. I mean, there were a couple of them they could have done a little bit better with the casting, but I think most of it was good choices. Um, uh, what was I gonna say? I got away from myself again. Um, Gene Simmons.
Mhm.
I thought that was great casting because, like
Really.
Joan, like Joan Bennett, she was also from that golden age of cinema,
Mhm.
and they were able to. So if they do Dark Shadows again, I don't. It's going to be hard to cast that role. In the 2004 pilot, I did not like
Mhm.
the casting of Liz there. I
Mhm.
thought she was too sunny. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you're not old enough for this part. You're not golden age cinema.
She didn't have that kind of grand lady of the May.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
didn't.
I didn't get that from her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was just ugh, bad
Mhm.
casting. Um,
Yeah, another thing that I like with the choices of the 91 series is I like that they made Willie Mrs. Johnson's nephew.
Mm-hmm.
That really kind of gave him that, why Willie is there, because of course we don't have Jason McGuire in the revival, and he
Mm-hmm.
was that came to town. It's like, no, he's there because because of his aunt, but obviously they don't really want him there. She's trying to make it work and trying to tell him, hey, get your act together and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So I liked that aspect of that. It was like, okay, because I also like with House of Dark Shadows, with that Willie there, um, that you just kind of get that from like the get-go, like, okay, this is his character and nobody really wants him there and Roger doesn't like him and this and that. And then when he does that 180 after, being bitten by Barnabas and
Mm-hmm.
his changes, and it's like, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Uh, Speaking of, so the a lot of people, uh, our mutual friend included, doesn't
mhm.
really like the portrayal of the 1991 Willie because he's played more comedic than anything else. Um, Whereas in the 2004 pilot, he's this young, good-looking guy who was also Logan in Gilmore Girls. I don't know if you've ever watched that, but
I,
I'm like, what?
yeah, I've seen a few episodes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch it just again because he portrayed it differently. I mean, they gave Willie a girlfriend. They made him more likable, which is interesting because,
Mhm.
in the very original, they had James Hall, who was in
Mhm.
it for, what, 5 episodes, and he was just a creep.
But he was good. He was a good.
He was great. I loved him. In fact, I wish they would have brought him back. It's like, if he can't play Willie, can you bring him back to somebody else? Because
Yeah, he was
that could
great.
have been, yeah. Oh my God, I've got so many ideas. The fan fiction just keeps spinning in my head.
That's one thing I love about this show is you have these characters that you're talking about, like the day players and the people that only made like a handful of appearances. I mean, some of them are just so phenomenal and they make such an impact on you. And it's like when I was talking to Andy on the last episode, and he mentioned Portia Fitzsimmons, and so I thought of you immediately
Yeah,
because I know you
I
and Chris.
love her.
and,
Love Lady Pal. She's just,
and
she's incredible.
and
And she,
that's one of the great things about with the original show and having that New York cast and having these stage actors, and you get some of these phenomenal actors that come in and they make these memorable appearances, and you want more of them, and it's so frustrating that there's no more.
yeah, I know what you mean. And in my head, in my alternate universe that sometimes I wish I could just go live in, Barnabas is played by Bert Convy, and Love Lady Pal is Hoffman. Let's make it happen. And there's
Yeah.
a musical episode because both of them can sing.
Mhm. That would have been cool. You know what, you've heard some of my Dark Shadows music,
Mm-hmm.
as I write Dark Shadows inspired music, and
Mm-hmm.
I that kind of scratches that itch for Dark Shadows musical. It's like, okay, I'll write songs about this storyline and do that, and then it's like, okay, it may not be canon or anything like that, but it makes me happy.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I'm sure you know that there was an off-Broadway musical, and I really wish that they could have like recorded it and like put it online or something for us to see because
There are recordings out there. I just don't know about getting a
I'm
hold.
like, where?
But I know that there are at least, I guess, a couple of the songs or something out there, or so I've heard. So that may be something to look into. Um, and I saw something not too long ago. I'm drawing a blank, but I may have to do some research and see what I can dig up. I know Penny Dreadful did an episode where she was talking about that, and she was
Mm,
talking about musical. So, I mean, I know that there's more info out
mm-hmm.
there, and I'm sure that there's got to be some kind of audio recordings or something out there. And I remember Guy Haynes put out a music video DVD, which I have. I actually have two copies of because where did it go? It's over here somewhere. Because I wore the first one out and I bought him at a Dark Shadows convention, and so I bought another one. And he's just he's putting music videos to songs using Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, works so wonderful. Oh, I love it. I love you, Guy. But in the beginning, there's a snippet of a song that plays, and supposedly, I think that is from that off Broadway. I
Oh,
think.
wow. Okay.
So but I don't know any more about it. I don't know where he got it. I don't know if there's a whole song. I don't know if it's just this snippet. I don't know exactly what it is.
Mm.
Um, but but I can hear it in my head because I would play that, DVD all the time. Um, so it's like it's catchy but I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it's called. I don't know anything. I don't know
Mm.
anything.
Uh, I
Understand?
don't understand. Um,
I don't
yeah,
know.
that totally needs to be a title of a song. I don't understand.
Oh, I wrote a song called I Don't Understand.
You
I,
did, you did. Oh
I don't.
gosh, what was I gonna say? You do know that there was going to be an official musical. Dan Curtis had reached out to Rupert Holmes, and they were supposed to work on some kind of Dark Shadows musical thing. And I want to say Robert Colbert was. Is it Colbert? Is it Colbert or Colbert? What was that?
Hobart.
Colbert. Okay. Uh, um, but yeah, something happened. I don't know. It just like didn't get made, and that makes me sad because Rupert Holmes would have been great. And I tell some Dark Shadows fans that, and they just laugh. And they're like, the guy that did the Pina Colada song? I'm like, no, the guy that did the Tony, he won Best Tony for The Mystery of Edwin Drood.
Mhm.
That guy. I don't know. It could have been epic. Sad.
But the thing with that musical is, I mean, there could be stuff out there that may surface, like Penny Dreadful about a month or so ago, maybe it was 2 months ago. Somebody had sent her the audio recordings of Grace Hall.
Oh,
I don't know if you heard that.
I
And I,
want to say I did. She was in a musical or something, right?
yeah, and a lot of people were like, I didn't know this existed. I didn't know that this was out there. So I mean, there could be stuff out there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we don't know. And that's the thing with a lot of people who hoard things. They don't know what they have. Like I'm a huge film preservation advocate. I love silent film. And unfortunately, there are a lot of silent film hoarders who have cans of film that are just sitting there deteriorating and they have no idea what they have.
Oh,
So
that's terrible. I mean, they need
that,
to bring that in and get it restored, and so that we can see it because so many of them have been just lost to time, and you
yeah. So
know.
there's kind of stuff out there. I mean, a lot of the Dark Shadow stuff, like the TV appearances that have been lost. Maybe somebody somewhere has a copy. I mean, even if it's not on video, maybe they had a reel-to-reel recorder going and there's audio somewhere. That's the thing. We don't know exactly what's
Yeah.
out there. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful that there were fans of Strange Paradise. If it weren't for the fans of Strange Paradise, the show would not be available for people to watch.
Mhm.
So, um, I'm just I'm glad that that is, you know,
Yeah. I mean,
it's like,
you never know what's gonna turn up. I mean, I was telling Bobby a couple weeks ago that they had found the original the ending monologue for 1931's Dracula that had been lost.
Oh
And
yeah, I saw that.
and restored it. I'm like, Bobby, did you see this? And he was like, oh my gosh. And, I mean, and that's something that people thought would never be seen again.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me of um hold on, I'm trying to think of the year. I want to say 1955,
Hmm.
and it was what I referred to as the Holy Grail. It was a TV episode starring Ingrid Bergman as the governess in The Turn of the Screw. And it
Ooh,
was it was just lost. And at one point I had made friends. For the life of me, I don't know the guy's name anymore, and he's probably, for all I know, he's not on Facebook anymore. But he sent me a copy. It's in black and white, and it's like, wow, I can't believe I have this now.
that is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Yeah, you never know who's got what stashed away. I'm hoping that a lot of the stuff that the Dark Shadows actors did before and after Dark Shadows really turn up. A lot of the Louis Edmonds stuff I'm hoping will turn up. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Joan Bennett stuff, would be wonderful to see. Because I mean these actors had these, wonderful careers and they did a lot of, stage work and they did television and they did a lot besides Dark Shadows. It's not really readily out there for
Mm-hmm.
people.
In fact, I was talking to my one friend Hunter. I don't know if he's going to watch this, but hi, Hunter. He and I have been talking back and forth about Hitchcock movies. Every time he watches a Hitchcock movie, he will write me up a little review on it on Facebook Messenger. And when it got to Dial M for Murder, I
Mhm.
was telling him about how Jonathan Frid was
Mhm.
in the stage version of that.
That
And
would.
I would love if we could watch that because
Mhm.
I'm sure that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have. There's a lot of his work that I wish someone had filmed, or if they have filmed it, that they could put it out there, even whatever it is, because he was a brilliant actor.
Hmm.
You- And a lot of times when people think of Jonathan Frid, they have this, this just vision of him as Barnabas and that's it. And it's like he had a great body of work. He did Shakespeare, he did Dial for Murder, he did, so many things.
Hmm.
And a lot
Arsenic and Old Lace.
of old ladies, yes, he was brilliant in that.
Hmm.
Uh, I did get to see that. I got to see that.
What?
Uh,
Where? Where?
I did manage to get hold of a copy of that. I may have to see if that person still has maybe some copies and see if I can get you in touch.
Sweet.
But I mean, that whole case is excellent, really.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. Yeah. But what was I was gonna say something and now I can't remember when, but it had something to do with stage performances and what was I gonna say? Oh, so with Dark Shadows being so much like a repertory theater company
Hmm.
and having the actors play different parts. Are there any roles that you think that, like, if the show had continued, maybe you would have seen one of the actors do something totally opposite from what they'd done before? Because I mean, they're all such wonderful actors. I know that they could play.
Hmm. Wow. Honestly, we get to see Chris Pennock play the bad guy and so
Mhm.
forth. Um, I don't know. I mean, I can't think of specific actors at the moment, but if
Mhm.
it had continued, I wish they would have tackled the Phantom of the Opera, uh, the Woman in White, and what's the other one I was thinking of? Uh, I wrote it down. Um, Sweeney Todd.
Hmm. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how they could have pulled that off for daytime.
oh, they could have made it work.
That would have been pretty cool. With that last storyline, the 1841 parallel storyline, and Jonathan Frid playing Bramwell,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a departure. But it was nice, I think, because it showed that it's like, hey, he can do more. He can do the
Yeah,
part. He doesn't have to rely on this supernatural villain kind of role. You know.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think he was easily typecast as the villain because of his Shakespearean background and possibly because of just how he looked. I mean, going back to Bert Convy, I believe he was originally cast, but then Dan Curtis was like, no. But oh, what was it? And now I'm trying to remember which of the Dark Shadows writers it was. He's like, I don't care who gets cast as the vampire, but don't make him like Dracula. And then he was pissed because it's like, oh great, you just cast Dracula again. He was totally fine with, we could have had Interview with the Vampire before we had Interview with the Vampire.
Hmm.
Which I still feel like Anne Rice borrowed from Dark Shadows.
Maybe.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
Stephen King. Stephen King was a big fan.
Mhm. I wish they had given Nancy Barrett a villain role. I think
I
that would,
mean, they
because you get a little,
kind of,
kind of here and there, like, okay, Melanie had some, but
yeah.
it's just a straight out diabolical villainess. I think
Mm-hmm.
it would have been really interesting.
That could have been interesting. I was gonna say she was kind of nasty when she was Charity Trask in
Hmm.
the beginning, but
But she wasn't necessarily like a villain.
yeah, they didn't really give her a villainous type role. And honestly, speaking of villainous type roles, I mean, Alexandra Moltke wanted to come back, but she wanted to play a villain. I think, and this is again my own headcanon here, but in 1970, parallel time, they could have brought back Victoria Winters, Alexandra Moltke, and had her as a villain type character. And I was thinking, she could have been Maggie's sister, Jennifer,
Maybe.
and she could have, I have ideas. But,
Who is your absolute favorite actor or actress on the show?
mm, honestly, I mean, as far as characters go, I would have to say Victoria. Um, but as far as like acting range and whatnot,
Mhm.
um, I don't know. I like David Selby,
Mhm.
and I like David Hennessy. I mean, when I think of that kid, he just had a lot of range, especially when he played Jameson possessed by a Patoffy. Everyone remembers that, but I mean, he was just, you could tell he had a lot of fun with
Mhm.
that part. Um, and as far as also range, I would say probably Chris Pinnock, but also Nancy Barrett. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, Nancy Barrett. We should have, she had a lot of, they gave her a lot of interesting, kooky characters to play at times. And, yeah. Um, so,
Now, at the end of 1897,
hmm
Count Potoffi disappears. Only his glasses are left behind. Do you think he died? Do you think he survived? Do you think he jumped bodies and went to another time? What do you think happened?
oh gosh. I think he jumped bodies and went to another time.
What I
I
think.
mean, because that's the more interesting take. And, we could stick him into that Sweeney Todd plot line or something. Hey, he's already got the hand thing going. That works.
Wish they had brought him back. I think that
hmm
1897 is my favorite storyline.
hmm
Wish that they had brought him back in some capacity. They brought back Nicholas Blair, you know,
Yeah,
came back. So, why not Count Potoffi? I'm sure that they could have figured something out.
right.
Mhm.
And I mean, gosh, there's so many actors that I wish could have had a different, brought back in a different role. But Dan only like cast the same people that he liked, over and over again. Although, of course, I mean, if we're bringing back Thayer David or whatever, but I mean, they kind of recycled that a little bit with the Judas Zachary storyline, little bit.
Kind of a little bit, but not really.
Yeah, but I do believe that they were going to bring him back in Big Finish. The big
Mhm.
the Big Finish productions. They had a great cliffhanger ending to
Mhm.
their full cast audios, where they had Alec Newman, who was Barnabas in the 2004 pilot, playing David, and he was interacting with Nancy Barrett again as Carolyn, and basically they implied that Count Potoffi was back. And
Mhm.
then they just kind of dropped it, I think. Now,
Mhm.
I could be wrong about that because I haven't sat down and listened to everything chronologically. Now, I do have all of it, and somebody, or one of my friends, made me a list of all the stories. In fact, I should send that to you. So if you're planning on listening to it, you'll have everything in order. Um, but yeah, I just uh, lost my train of thought again.
I lose my train of thought, and I have a train, and sometimes my little circus train derails, and there's
Yeah,
elephants there, and it's just very tragic.
I know. Well, it doesn't help that I don't get a lot of sleep at night. So, yeah, speaking of sleep, neither do the people in Collinsport
No.
or in Collinwood. Nobody's sleeping. It's 3 in the morning and they're wandering around. It's like, what are you doing? Do we have to tie you to the bed in order to get you to sleep? Because you can't just lock the door. They've got like a secret passage in there. You know?
What's your favorite secret passage on the show?
Oh, probably the one in Victoria's room. They use that one a lot. But I also like the one in the drawing room with the fireplace. I
Hmm.
like that one. Uh, are those the only two? I know
You
there's
there's two in the old house in the
right.
because you've got the one that Vicky was held in against this bookcase here.
Mm-hmm.
Got the one over by the fireplace that Barnabas has hid his coffin in before.
Mm,
Those. In Collinwood, you've got the panel in the drawing room that goes up to the West Wing, supposedly.
mm-hmm.
There is the
Yeah,
one in Vicky's room, and is that it?
that's all I can. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think that's. I'm sure others will comment if there's more that we just
Think of it.
haven't thought of, but
Hmm.
I thought there was one. There was another room that Vicky was tied up in the West Wing in the early days.
Was
David
that
kept her there.
when he locked her and then she saw Bill Malloy? Because I don't know if.
Yeah, that's the one. But that might have just been the panel in the drawing room. I can't remember now.
Hmm, I don't remember. But in 1890, no, 1796, I guess. So after they went those several episodes when Barnabas goes back, because in 1897, um okay, 18 bleh. Okay, 1897, all right, Kitty Drummond, right?
Kitty Soames.
Kitty Soames,
Kitty
yes.
Soames.
Kitty Soames, thank you. I'm Captain Lee Scott. uh Kitty Soames, Lady Hampshire, is supposedly the reincarnation of Josette.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you think about that?
Lazy writing. Bring back Rachel and, make her, get with Tim. And do we need to rehash this again? I swear to you, that prop, that music box prop, what does he do? What does Barnabas do? He gives it to his Josette lookalike, and then
Mhm.
she's gone. Either she dies or takes off or something, and then he ends up giving it to the next one. What does he do? Just like reclaim it? We're not together anymore. Give me back my music box. I'm like, what is that? That was a gift. You're a jerk. It's like, what is that? Oh, not to mention like the prop that they came out with. God, I don't have my music box anymore. I used to have one. I don't know what I did with it. Probably got lost to the purge. Um, but this plastic music box, it looks like it has a brown piece of duct tape on it. It's like, did he break it and just like tape it back up? I don't know.
But the idea of one character being reincarnated into another, I mean, that is itself, some ideas.
I mean, yeah, they do that quite a bit on Dark Shadows, and I don't have a problem with the concept, but just the fact that they kept on rehashing some of it over and over again, that got a little tired. Now, that said, I do like when Kitty is possessed by Josette's spirit and she just like totally attacks Angelique. It's great. I can just, rewind that and watch it again and again and again. It's like, do it again. Oh
If
my gosh.
let's say if the show had continued, or if you were setting the story, say today, with like another generation, what do you think would be interesting to have a character be a reincarnation as, say, out of any of the other characters, like from the past?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would be really interesting?
Ah, honestly, I would probably want to see reincarnation from one of the characters we don't get to see much of. Like, we can expand their storyline a bit. Um, Probably Liz. I mean, to me, that just makes sense. And I think her character probably passes away sometime in the 70s. And so 2026, you bring her back, and possibly she has unfinished business, and she wants to, resolve some of that. And I mean, if you go with the favorite fan theory, which again I don't go with, that Vicky is Liz's daughter, maybe somehow Victoria returns somehow from 1795 and she's alive in 2026, and this reincarnated person, you can wrap that up. It'll be like some, not Dark Shadows, but there is a woman who claimed to have memories of being someone from the past and actually interacted with these um, grown up children from, God, I don't know if it was the 20s or 1920s, 1930s or something to that effect. But yeah, you could do something like that with Liz. I'm just spitballing here, but if I had more time to think about it, I could probably come up with something even better. Oh.
What would you like to see happen with Dark Shadow going forward? I mean, do you want to see a rehash? Do you want to see a continuation? Uh,
Uh,
what
they
do you?
have they have rehashed it so much. I would say let's do a continuation where David is now the owner of Collinwood and kind of go from there. Maybe he's trying to deal with the demons of his past. I mean, as a little boy, he sees his mother burn up in a, was it shack of some kind or something. I think there's more that we could do with David, you know. And considering that if we keep up with the storyline that Quentin is immortal, uh which again would be really weird. They would either have to find a way to make him human or obviously recast. And with the continuation, I would say throw in as many original and revival cast members as you can in different roles because that's just fun. I know that, at least I heard, now I don't know if this is true or not, but I think Jonathan Frid was approached both times in the 1991 series and in 2004 to appear just in a cameo role, and both times he said no. So I wish that um, I yeah, I would like to see that. It's like Catherine Lee Scott and David Selby and Sharon Smythe, I guess. Maybe Kathy Cody if she wants to participate. Uh, I think cameos would be fun. So, but yeah, I think the focus could be on David. But yeah, I know that Mark Perry had been trying to. I think he even came up with a script that Dan Curtis's daughters liked, but he pitched it to this network and that network, and they all said no. So I don't know what he's going to do with it. I don't know what the plans are for that in the future. I kind of feel like the 2012 movie may have ruined things for any Dark Shadows material going forward because it was just so bad. uh,
Definitely was not our Dark Shadows.
no, and I still wish that I can find where I saw this. I know I didn't dream it. Some kind of interview, a video interview of Michelle Pfeiffer talking to somebody, and she specifically said that the fans of the original weren't going to like it. And I'm
Mm.
thinking, wow, that hurts because Michelle was a fan of the original, so I'm thinking to myself, you don't like it, do you? Not to mention that Michelle, as much as I love her and other things, she was just so poorly cast in that role, in my opinion. There was so many bad, bad casting decisions there.
Who would be your ideal modern day Elizabeth Stoddard if you were to cast any sort of Dark Shadows?
Oh my gosh. The problem is, most of the people I can think of have already passed on.
You
There's no one alive that could do this role. No. um,
really see doing justice to it would be way too expensive, and that would be Meryl Streep.
I I could see her as I mean maybe. I don't know. I have a hard time with that because I think of her as the Devil Wears Prada and other things. But I mean, she does have that Grand Dame vibe, so maybe. I'm trying to think. Again, they're all dead. Like, a
I know
li- a-
they used to.
what?
I said they don't make them like they used to. We don't really have a lot of actors that kind of have that old Hollywood, you
Oh, I
know.
got one for you. It doesn't really work. It doesn't really work, but I love Julie Andrews. So let's just find some random role for her and cast her there.
Would do it. Well,
Just-
see that, you know.
yeah, she could do it. She's already played a queen and this, that, and the other things. She could do it.
Yeah,
Uh,
do it. Who would be another one?
for Liz or somebody else?
Um, well, yeah, see, it's hard. It's a hard role to cast. Now, who would you cast as Roger?
That is also hard. Because I liked the guy that they cast in the 2004. I can't think of his name at the moment, but I also thought that Roy Dines did a
Hmm.
great job in the revival. Oh, Roger. Um, trying to think.
Well,
What I've seen.
here's maybe an easier one for you.
Okay.
Who would you cast as Barnabas today?
Oh, see, here's the thing. Going back to Johnny Depp, if he would have had the right
Hmm.
script, he
Oh,
could have done it. And I
yeah,
mean, if he could have just played it straight. Because the man is capable of playing other roles besides Jack Sparrow.
very true.
You know, so I remember, gosh, way before they were even considering making a movie, Catherine Lee Scott wanted Johnny Depp,
Hmm.
and she was thinking of him in his role in Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
If they would have made it a little bit more like Sleepy Hollow, okay,
Hmm.
a lot more like Sleepy Hollow, it would have been better, you know. So yeah, um, I think a British actor though, again, if he's keeping his same cover of I'm from England, then you better have an English accent because it's like, where's your accent? Yeah, that just doesn't check out for me.
Well, I think on that note, I should probably let you go here.
Okay,
Yeah, because oh wow, okay. So we've been talking a
we've been
little.
talking a while. Oh
Yeah, well, you know how we get when we start talking. So
yeah.
wonderful. Well, I will link the channel, and I will post the audio excerpt of the Dark Shadows episode. I'll put that in the family fan. I can't talk now. Family fan, and I'll post that, and I will post the trailer that I did for your series. And even though on the trailer it says the Gothic Topic podcast, it is no longer the Gothic Topic
It's the shadow. It's Shadows
Shadow.
of the Past theater. I need to pick a name and stick with it.
Yes. So yeah, on that note, I will let you go, and I'll talk to you later. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Talk soon.
Talk soon. It probably won't be the last time either.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
was made for finery. Though I come from quite humble means, middle class just isn't for me. I was born to mingle with royalty. Dear Gerald helped acquire the goal. I'm almost back where I started though, and now for some other besotted dope. I mean, dear Edward, how you give me hope. A house in the country, nobility for tea, and diamonds and other fine jewelry. Only the best to be draped upon me, and everything's coming up kitty. American gentry, a house by the sea, and the Collins name, as well as money. Though he's a bit stuffy, it'll work for me, and everything's coming up kitty. I'll gain his children, which isn't uncommon, and as for his siblings, I'll just have to stomach them. He's simply a man, and it's easy to flummox him, but it would be easier if he looked like his brother Quentin. What a fabulous home, not unlike the one in England. Not as old perhaps, but no less distinguished. I'll take Maine by storm, to the delight of its citizens, and reign in society as a Collins-born denizen. A house in the country, nobility for tea, and diamonds and other fine jewelry. Only the best to be draped upon me, and everything's coming up kitty. American gentry, a house by the sea, and the Collins name, as well as money. Though he's a bit stuffy, it'll work for me, and everything's coming up kitty.
I also recorded this ad for her new audio series. Keep in mind the channel is no longer called the Gothic Topic Podcast, but Shadows of the Past Theater. Check this out. Come enter a world where dark shadows and strange paradise collide. It is the year 1945, and the mysterious Betty Hanscom has returned to Collinsport. But what demon from her past is she running away from? Find out in Rachel Pulliam's Cursed Dwellings, the Gothic Topic Podcast. I'm honored that I got to take part in one of her Dark Shadows episode recreations, playing Millicent Collins in 1795. I hope you enjoy it. Here's an excerpt.
How do you do? I'm looking for Nathan. Dear, dear Nathan.
Suki,
Oh, how delightful to see you again. You're looking just as handsome as ever. Nathan?
Millicent, I can explain.
Oh, forgive me. You must be one of the Collins family.
Yes, this is Miss Millicent Collins. Millicent, this is...
Suki Forbes. How very nice to meet you.
Suki Forbes?
Yes? Oh, you don't mean Nathan has ever told you.
Suki.
Told me what?
Well, that he had a sister.
No, he never did.
Oh, Nathan, shame on you. He's always been terribly forgetful about certain things, haven't you, dear?
Yes. I'm afraid I have.
Nathan, you don't look very happy to see me.
Oh, well, I am... Just that seeing you here is such a surprise.
But I like surprises. Don't you, Miss Collins?
Sometimes, yes.
Well, I hope I haven't arrived at a bad time for you.
No, no, of course not. Won't you come into the drawing room, Miss Forbes?
Thank you. Oh, what a beautiful house you have, Miss Collins.
Oh, no, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to my cousin Joshua. I'm just visiting from New York. Won't you sit down, Miss Forbes?
Why, thank you.
Tell me, are you planning to stay in Collinsport for a while?
Well, I really haven't decided yet. Anyway, I think that would depend on Nathan.
Oh? What does that mean?
Well, dear, we haven't seen each other in so long. I'd like to be able to spend a lot of time with you.
Well, I don't know if that's going to be possible, Suki. See, my work at the shipyards takes up almost all of my time, and...
Oh, Nathan, I'm sure Cousin Joshua would allow you time off to spend with your sister. After all, if she's come all this way just to see you.
That's very sweet of you, Miss Collins. Nathan, your friend is very thoughtful. I think she and I are going to become fast friends. Oh,
Miss Forbes, what's the matter?
I saw a man's face at the window. Forgive me if I startled you. I don't usually scare easily, but there was something evil about that face.
Well, I don't see anyone outside.
It must have been your imagination, Miss Forbes.
No, I definitely saw a man's face. I'm sure of it.
Are you going to be all right?
Yes, I'll be fine in a moment.
Millicent, perhaps a cup of tea would help her feel a little better.
I'm afraid Cook has gone to bed.
Oh, well, would you mind making it?
Well, no, of course not. Here it is. I'll pour it for you.
Oh, thank you, Miss Collins. Nathan's just been telling me what a nice place Collinsport is.
Oh? Is that all he told you?
Why, yes. Is there something else he should have told me?
Well, I thought he may have mentioned something about it by now. Nathan, may I tell your sister?
Tell me what?
Nathan and I are planning to be married.
Married? Oh, Nathan, how divine. Didn't I tell you he was forgetful? Oh,
Who are you and what do you want here?
I didn't know anyone was here.
Answer my question. Who are you?
My name is Suki Forbes.
Forbes?
Yes, I'm visiting at Collinwood. My brother is engaged to one of the members of the Collins family, Nathan Forbes. Perhaps you know him.
You're Nathan Forbes' sister?
Yes.
What are you doing here?
Nathan is going to meet me here. He told me about this house. He promised to show it to me.
At this hour?
Yes.
You're lying.
What?
I don't know why you're here, but I do know you're not who you say you are. You are not Nathan Forbes' sister.
Oh. Then who am I?
You are his wife.
His wife?
Don't bother to deny it. He had no living relatives, so you could only be his wife.
Well, what of it?
Why are you at Collinwood pretending to be someone you are not?
You ask a great many questions, don't you?
You want to live.
What?
If you do, then listen to me and listen well. Leave Collinwood immediately. Don't offer any explanation or speak to anyone. Just go and never return. Above all, never tell anyone what you have seen here tonight.
Oh, why are you threatening me?
Don't ask questions. Do what you're told to do.
You're in no position to threaten me, you know. You may know a few of my little secrets, but I happen to know a few of yours, too.
What do you mean?
I know who you are.
Who am I?
Barnabas Collins.
No, I am not. Barnabas Collins is gone.
So I'm told. And yet, why do you look exactly like the portrait of Barnabas Collins at Collingwood? You are Barnabas Collins, aren't you? And yet your family says you've gone to England. And everybody seems to believe it. Now, I find that curious. This cloak.
Put that down!
It belongs to Josette, doesn't it?
Don't mention her name.
She disappeared from her room at Collingwood. Is she here? In this house?
You should have done what I told you to do. You should have left here when I gave you the chance.
You don't have to worry about me. I'm very good at keeping secrets. You'll find I'm rather cooperative when other people are cooperative with me. And I'm sure a man in your position would be quite willing to cooperate with me. Mr. Collins? Mr. Collins? Mr. Collins! Oh, where did he go? He just disappeared, almost as if... Oh, I don't want to wait here any longer. I'm going to get out of here. Oh, I thought I... Nathan? Nathan? What's that noise? What is it? Nathan? Nathan, where are you? Oh! No! Get away from me! Get away! Oh, where did that thing come from? Oh, where did that thing come from? It just appeared out of nowhere. Oh, Mr. Collins? Mr. Collins? Oh, Nathan, where are you? He said he'd be here in just a few minutes. Oh, what's keeping him? Oh, Nathan? Nathan? No. Oh. Oh, no. Those eyes. Staring at me. Staring straight through me. It's almost as if it weren't human and were trying to kill me. Oh, Nathan, please come. I'm frightened. I'm so frightened. Please. Oh, I don't believe this is happening.
I tried to warn you, but you wouldn't listen.
Oh, please.
It's too late now to offer any mercy to you. Much too late.
Oh, no.
Suki?
Nathan!
Suki!
Help!
Suki, are you in there? Suki! Suki, what happened? Who did this to you? What are you saying? Suki?
The Back Room at the Blue Whale is a Dark Shadows podcast.